All right, hello again. This is Jeff Scott of Rankin Technical College, and I've been going over the PowerPoint presentations for Murox ASP.NET 4.6 with C# 2015, 6th edition. And I'm up to getting to the end of Chapter 9, which is on master pages. And the last, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, last 10 pages of the chapter go over this example that we've been looking at, that being the Halloween Superstore website, but done, again, using master pages. So the figure shows only an order page and a cart page for the application. Okay? And here is the order page. Here is the cart page. Okay? And you'll notice a couple things. The master page has two more types of default content. First, it provides an empty H1 element at the top of each page. So if we want, we can put it in there. Second, the master page provides content for its footer. All right, and it shows how many days are left until Halloween. Now this can be overridden or not overridden. So, what we see here is the ASPX code for the master page for the shopping cart app. In the head element there's a link and script tags that are needed by all pages in the application. They're not shown here to save space, but they are shown in the actual code itself. All right, and if you say, what does that mean? Well, if I go, let's see, I'm still having problems running these pages, okay? But if I do go into the site.master, it has this, is what they're saying. Next, the page uses HTML5 semantic elements to structure its content. So you really start to see why you should be using things like main, header, footer, nav, etc. And in addition to these HTML5 elements, the master page uses bootstrap classes to format the page and an external style sheet. All right, so where is that? Site.css, which should be in a folder that's would have thought would have been in a folder called styles or whatever. And I know it's in here someplace, I just don't see it right now. There's our database. All right. So the master page uses a bulleted list server control for navigation. All right, that's right here. So it can use the tilde property. The tilde basically says, based off of the root, that tilde that you see right there, that's typically easier than using A elements for the links. All right. The text of the label control in the main element is exposed as a public write-only property. So its value can be set by a content page. The label control in the footer uses the default content, which again can be overridden if need be. So you'll notice here we've got the number of days till Halloween. All right, that's what's in our site master. But if we look at the 2 pages that we have in here, so if I bring up the order page, and if I bring up, you can see the problems I'm having in here, the products page, I believe so. You'll notice the products page, we've got the coming soon in here, but we have nothing else. What do we have? We want the order page and the cart page is what we want. All right. So there's the cart page. And I believe in there we have not overridden the header, but I believe in the order page we have, or vice versa. Okay? Now, the code behind for the master page is shown next. So master pages have events just like regular ASP.NET pages. Most of these events are raised after the corresponding events for the content page are raised. Okay? So we see here the code behind file for the master page of the shopping cart app. The file includes the page load method that's executed when the master page loads. It calls a method named days until Halloween that basically is going to end up going in there and figuring out the number of days until Halloween. If it's 0, they say Happy Halloween. If it's the day before, it says tomorrow is Halloween. If it's anything else, it'll have the number of days that are in there. So content pages can also have a page load completed event that's raised after the page load events for the content page and the master page have fired. This master page, again, exposes a public property that lets the content pages set the text of the label inside of that H1 element. Now, as far as the ASPX code for the order page, which is on pages 330 and 331, when you create a content page, ASP.NET generates one content control for each placeholder on the master page. By default, then, each content page for the shopping cart app will have 3 controls. 1 for the placeholder for the head element, 1 for the main element, and 1 for the footer. In figure 911, the content control for the placeholder and the head has been deleted because you don't have to do anything extra for it. The first content control page has the main content that you see in there. This is the same content that would normally be included in the form element of the page. The second one overrides the default stuff for the footer. You might notice that this page doesn't include a master type directive. Because the code behind file for this page doesn't use a public property, there's no need to include the directive. Please read 330 and 331, then look at the same stuff for 332 and 333. All right? The cart.aspx page adds a value to the title attribute. It has a master page directive with a virtual path. It doesn't need any specific CSS or JavaScript files. The content control that's associated with the placeholder has also been deleted here. So in this particular program, in this particular example that we just went over, we have now, for the first time, looked at master pages. All right? So, we went over the main elements that are in a master page. I told you that although it is possible to convert a non-master page to a a non-master content page to a master content page, I wouldn't recommend it. We looked at master pages, content placeholders, content pages, and content elements. We discussed the client ID mode property. We showed how you could provide default content in a master page and then override it in a content page or not override it. Finally, we talked about how to expose a public property in a master page and access it from a content page. All right, that is it for this chapter. I'm taking a break right now, and what we're going to do next is we're going to go over Chapter 10, and Chapter 10 is on how to work with Bootstrap in ASP.NET. After we get done with that, we will go over Chapter 11, and Chapter 11 is on how to work with friendly URLs and routing. So we'll do 10 and 11, and then we'll be done with Section 2 of the textbook. I'll be back to do that, but it'll be a bit.